Hi, I'm Kevin, the Preacher Plumber, and it's Happy New Year 2018. We need to think about our New Year's resolutions. It's never too late to make New Year's resolutions. Insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting different results like last year. Maybe last year wasn't so good for you. We need to do things different this year. And people have a lot of addictions. We all have one or two, and they can be sports, too much sports, baseball, football, basketball. You can get too much into that. It can be materialism, alcoholism, drugs, whatever. So you really need to work on our addictions. We all have those that we need to work on. And the most important thing is to get closer with God every year, because people are never close enough with God. And so anything that interferes with your relationship with God is an idol. And so I want to read Galatians chapter 5. This is one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. And here we go in Galatians chapter 5. Here's my advice. Live your whole life in the Spirit, and you will not satisfy the desires of your lower nature. For the whole energy of the lower nature is to set against the Spirit, while the whole power of the Spirit is contrary to the lower nature. Here's the conflict, and that is why you are not free to do what you want to do. But if you're following the leading of the Spirit, you stand clear of the law. The activities of the lower nature are obvious. Here's a list: sexual immorality, impurity of the mind, sensuality, worship of false gods, witchcraft, hatred, quarreling, jealousy, bad temper, rivalry, factions, party spirit, envy, drunkenness, orgies, and things like that. I solemnly assure you, as I did before, that those who indulge in such things will never inherit God's kingdom. The Spirit, however, produces in human life fruits such as these: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And no law exists against any of them. Those who belong to Christ have crucified their old nature and all that it loved and lusted for. And so we need to really get closer to God every year and work on our addictions. Because in all of us, there's a good dog and a bad dog. Whichever dog we feed the most is going to win. They war against each other, like it was talking about in that chapter there. So we need to feed the good dog, and the bad dog will starve to death. We need to starve the bad dog. And you do that by different ways. You can listen to Christian radio, Christian music, Christian TV. And music is very important for me. I listen to a lot of Christian music. If you look at The Voice last year, Chris Blue won The Voice. And he sang a song called Take Me to the King. And everything changed. When he sang that song, the whole crowd feels something different when a Christian song is sung on The Voice or American Idol. Like Carrie Underwood sang Christian songs on American Idol. There's a different spirit, and you can feel the Spirit of God like takes over the whole crowd. The whole crowd gets into that. And so if you listen to regular music, you don't feel that. If you listen to regular country music or whatever you listen to, you don't get the same feeling as you do listening to Christian music. So that's what I do to feel the Spirit. And you need to be seeking God. And this can be the year that you find God. You seek God and you find Him. A lot of people have not found God, and they don't know the joy of finding God that I've felt. I found God. It was early in the year 2000. I found God. I've been searching since 1981 for God, and it took all those years to actually find Him. But when you do, the joy of that is the greatest joy you have in your life. There's nothing like finding God. And I get God bumps head to toe when I talk about it. It's just a wonderful thing. And then you grow from that, and you learn how to communicate with God, two-way communication with God. Most people have no idea how to do that, no clue at all. And once you learn how to do that, it's the greatest thing. I know a guy that wrote a book, God, Faith, and Reason, Michael Savage, and he's been searching for God for 40 years, hasn't found Him. He wrote a whole book about that, how he searched for God for 40 years and hasn't found Him. And it's really sad, all those years, and he still hasn't found Him. So I want to help people find God. That's what. Also, another New Year's resolution we could do is read more this year. Everybody watches too much TV, so let's read more books this year. And I have a couple of book recommendations, like a one-year Bible. This is where the Bible is broken up into 365 sections, where you have Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms, and Proverbs. Just each day you read like 3 pages each day, and every day you read this. And I guarantee you, if you do this, you will get closer with God. And you will learn how you pray every day, listen to Christian music, and pretty soon you'll be living in the Spirit instead of in the flesh, which is the goal. Another book I recommend is The Harbinger. And this is by Rabbi Jonathan Cahn. He's a Messianic Jewish rabbi. And this explains the attack on our country on 9/11 according to the Bible. And the same things happened to Israel 2,800 years ago. A lot of the same things happened to them that are happening in this country. And so he uses the Bible to explain 9/11. And it's very fascinating. But my wife loved the book. And she checked that out, The Harbinger. And he has a couple other books, The Shemitah and The Paradigm. So he has 3 books out now. But I highly recommend Jonathan Cahn, a great author. And this is Kevin, the Preacher Plumber. And I think God is calling, or maybe a plumbing call. And check for my next videos.